Hello, everyone. I went back to the old school today. We used to do this. Those of you that were with me in the beginning will remember that we used to do this. I used to go live from my phone, right? Crazy. I'm gonna let a few people get in here first. Make sure how this is looking on YouTube. I'm gonna let everything go out. Anyway, hopefully those of you that are watching later the replay, welcome. First of all, my new people that are here, hey Fit Goddess. My new folks that are here, welcome, 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 that are watching the replay or that come in here now. I'm Lisa. This is Heart of Inspiration. Usually I'm in the studio, and tonight I decided to do it from the living room. Go back to the old school, how it used to be. So I thank you guys for being here. Here at this channel, we help you to live life in spirit, live life inspired. Hi, Tawanda. Hi, Dee Dee. You guys might notice I'll probably be checking over here and over here. I want to talk tonight about the meaning of the wolf moon. Yes, I'm on YouTube. Happy 2020. Hello, S. Marie. Hey, Mary. Um, I want to talk about the meaning of the wolf moon, and this is the part one. I think we're going to either do two or three kind of parts to this. The wolf moon usually only comes around once a year, so it's very poignant right now, but I think we need to understand its significance as we are about to experience it starting on January the 10th all the way through the 11th. The moon will be full for about 2 days. Um, so this is a fairly significant thing that's happening. And I wanted to break it down this way to just what the meaning of the wolf moon is in kind of lore and what the wolf moon is in, lore, mythology, that kind of thing, just the meaning before we get into what it means during this astrological time period. Okay. So I felt it was extremely important. Now, the full moon starts on 1/10/11, and then it continues to be full on 1/11/111. This is a life purpose portal. We're in the midst of a portal right now. So if you're feeling a little a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, if things feel a little strange, this is why. Okay. So guys, please like, subscribe, and share. Um, and also don't forget you can get your 2020 forecast outlook readings from me at heartofinspiration.net. I'm gathering all the 2020s. I started doing some. I did one or two earlier this week. I've got a few more that just got ordered. We're going to get them done this weekend. I got a whole weekend ready to go. Those of you guys, hey Trinae, those of you guys who are my Patreon folks, I will be giving you, if you were a Patreon member in December, I'm going to get you your 2020s. Okay. And if you continue in January, we'll just continue on the rest. Those of you just joining Patreon for at least $10, we'll get you a month. We'll get you 2020 in addition to everything else. All right, let's get to the meaning of the wolf moon. So the wolf moon every year is the first full moon of the year in January. It's typically the first full moon after the equinox. Or should I say, it's hard to say. It's in January. Typically, we don't have a full moon on the equinox. The new moon's coming in around that time. So, yeah, the first full moon after the equinox here in January. Oh, and Tawanda, that's a $1 now. Patreon is for $1 and up. And I'm going to be announcing a very special Patreon live by the end of this video. So please pay attention, hang out with me to the end of the video. So I want to talk about the meaning of this wolf moon. It's the first full moon of the year. The reason for it being called the wolf moon is because the wolves, wild wolves, or any wolves, tend to they howl a lot, they're communicative a lot, they really get active at this full moon, the first one of the year. Okay, let's talk about what the wolf is. I've got my notes down here from looking down, so you know. The wolf is considered a very strategic and communicative animal. It can be a loner all the same time as well be part of a community. And we're going to talk in part 2 about some of the spiritual significance of in Native American religion specifically, but specifically what the spiritual significance of the wolf is. But I want you to grasp this kind of third dimensional physical meaning. The wolves, travel and live in packs. They're born into the pack. They travel and they live in the pack. There are ranks within this pack as well. Okay, there are ranks within the wolf pack. Wolves are about also the packs are also about community. It's about the survival of the community, okay? But not at the expense of the individuality of the wolf themselves. That's going to be very important as we're going through this, what this wolf moon, and very specifically this astrological energetic time period that we're in, how that's going to play in it. So wolves are about the pack, or the community is not at the loss of or the sacrifice of the individual wolf's journey, the individual wolf's growth, the individual wolf eventually moving forward and going and moving on into their world, okay, their realm. All right. So they are loners, yet they're in community. Okay, that's very important. It is said that at this time of the full moon, of the wolf moon, there are 2 hungers. That's why I entitled this hunger. There are 2 hungers that the wolf is trying to satiate. One, hi Jeanette. One, because it is the dead of winter. Hey NK. Because it is the dead of winter, there is a physical need for food, right? So wolves are going scrounging a little bit more than normal, probably, for food. Also, though, what it may or may not be known is there's also a primal need or hunger to mate, to find their mate. And not just for the sake of procreation, but wolves mate for a lifetime. Were you all aware of that? I know I wasn't until I just studied all of this stuff. Wolves mate for an entire lifetime. Hey, Willie. I think that's beautiful. Now, so those are the 2 hungers. The 2 hungers that are being satiated. So, Willie, yes, for those that are just joining, this is about the wolf moon. But the wolf moon itself is its own entity. Like there's lore and there's energy about it. And we will relate this then to the Cancer full moon. probably part 3. Okay? We're related to them both. Now, so the 2 hungers. The first hunger, let's talk about this hunger for food. So I'm going to put this into a spiritual context. Okay? Well, dogs actually, if left to their own devices, will mate for life as well. Wild feral dogs, not domesticated, where we humans have screwed them up, will actually mate for life as well. Yeah. Okay, we kind of screwed them up as humans. Anyway, so let's talk about hunger for food. So during this full moon, this wolf moon time, okay, we are hungry to come to the understanding of who we are as an interdimensional and individual being, and where the place that we have, that we possess, is in the community. Remember, wolves are loners, yet they are part of a community. You are allowed to have an individuality while being a part of the great community. Okay? You are allowed that ability to have the individual nature, your individual needs, your individual we're going to get to the alpha male myth. So guys, just listen. We're going to get to this, okay? The individual nature is allowed to flourish in the midst of being part of a community. Okay? I should probably turn these off. I can't. Okay. I have to hide the chat while I'm on my phone right now, guys. All right. Now, we're hungry to have a full understanding at this moon, and this is going to be very important for us as we understand what this Cancer full moon really has for us energetically. We're hungry for knowledge. Remember, this is a hunger for food in the physical, but as it is above, so it is below. So what does this symbolize as far as I am concerned? This is symbolizing a hunger, right? A hunger for knowledge and spiritual, energetic food to feed our soul, to feed ourselves. We're looking for soul food. Seriously, Gemini. We're hungry for knowledge, but not just any knowledge. We are hungry for a deep knowledge, a deep understanding. We are hungry now to really understand people's motivations. We're hungry to understand our own motivation. We're hungry to understand, where do all of these, like I put that community post out, like, how do we get to know, like, what do you guys want to know about? And a lot of you are already saying spiritual gifts. Like, you guys want to know how to operate in this new world. Because that's what this is, guys. If you haven't figured that out yet, especially at the last solar eclipse, but as we've moved, that last solar eclipse opened something up. It changed something. It heralded an entrance. It changed the energies. And I've been talking about this and talking about this and talking about this, but it opened up something new. Something feels different. I've heard a lot of people say, and I feel the same way, that this feels a lot like the turn of the century and less like the change of a decade. And so much so that nobody was really talking about the fact that this was a new decade, because we've already experienced what it feels like to change into a different time warp, into a different energetic moment. We already know how this feels. We've done this in 2000. Now, 20 years later, half a generation later, Now we're like, okay, well, I'm used to that shift, but this shift feels a little bit different and it feels a lot more serious. It feels like this is something that we have to be really aware of, and we're now more aware of ourselves than we were back in 2000. So this wolf moon, because of the configuration of the planets, because of that configuration, this moon feels different than 20 years ago or 10 years ago, because this is a lot more serious and a lot more tumultuous. There's a different portal that's been opened. Okay. We're hungry for deep hidden knowledge about ourselves, about our communities. We're seeing deep hidden knowledge. Not only are we hungry about it, but our interpersonal relationships, whatever screwed up ish has been going on in the background, is like, I can't just not see it anymore. I can't just not know it anymore. And I've outgrown it. So if you're feeling like you've outgrown something and you're hungering for more, you're hungering to be fed, you're hungering to be um, seen, but in a different light. You're hungering to be around a group of people that feed on the same stuff you eat. Your pack that you've had probably most all your life. Some of us have already been going through this shift, so this is kind of like just kind of like the last little few people, right? That we need to kind of like, yeah, I gotta color my gray, child. That we really need to we're kind of exiting, right? Purging the last few. But again, my pack's getting smaller. I had a big pack. I had a lot of people around, and a lot of them were family, and a lot of them were this, and a lot of them are that. But the more that I hunger for deep spiritual food, I mean, and let's be real, wolves are carnivores. They do eat veggies, right? But they're carnivores. They ain't vegans. So we want that hearty meat. We're tired of the lightweight veggies. Not that being vegan is anything wrong with it, because I'm moving that direction. My point being is this, is we are hungry for deep stuff, right? We're hungry for knowledge that calls and feeds our soul. That's what we're hungry for. So if you're feeling this draw that somehow you need to know more and more and more, it makes sense, because that is the energy that's coming in. And this wolf moon is us howling at the depths, at the moon, saying, I need you in opposition to the sun, so that you're not blinded by the sun. The things of the spirit at the full moon are not blinded by or blocked by the sunlight. Stop. They're not blocked by the sun. So we need this fresh, this new, we need to be bathed in this divine feminine energy for creative purposes, with the sun or the divine masculine energy on the opposite side. So that instead of taking over and eclipsing, if you will, eclipsing the divine feminine and outshining her, she gets to shine her light at the full moon and really show us the depth of our own personal journeys and what we personally need to either release or bring in. Okay? Now, the other thing, I'm doing good on time. The other thing that we desire is this desire to mate and or procreate, but this desire to mate. So the reason why they howl, right, at the full moon, this wolf moon, is also its mating season. Isn't that beautiful? It's mating season. At the height of this full moon, when the divine feminine and female energy is at its highest, they want to mate. It this always is going this is always also going to happen in Cancer, by the way. This full moon will always happen in Cancer. That house of the mother, the house of home, the house of hearth, the house of family. It's always going to happen now. This is the house of the mate, the Cancer, right? We're the mothers of the zodiac. So we have this incredible energy right now where we are looking on a spiritual level for our mate. We're looking for our community. Where do we belong? There's a lot of people that we've been involved with we no longer belong with anymore. And the interesting journey of a wolf is this. So the parents have little cubs, right? And, they're taught to be the man or the woman, right? Or the male or the female. They're taught what to do. And it's not that there's this grand, like, fight for leadership of the pack. This whole alpha male concept with wolves is actually a myth that's then been debunked in feral or wild wolves. You will see that infighting with wolves in captivity. I want to let that sink in for a moment. That this infighting that has been observed has happened because of the observance of the wolf pack within captivity. Not when the wolf is allowed to roam and be their original authentic selves in the wild. Now, Lisa, you might be saying, child, why is that so important, Miss Lisa? Because that tells me this, that while we are looking and hungering, right, for our tribe, our pack, where is it we belong? We may need to grow. Wolves grow at a certain point when they're ready to kind of break out of the pack and join a new one or start a new one. Mama and daddy are just like, all right, cool, man. Deuces, out of here. Bye. You do you because I've trained you. I've kind of play fought with you. I've taught you how to hunt. I've taught you how to care for the cubs. I've taught you how to care for your woman. I've taught you how to take care of your man. Now it's time for you to go. And there's no problem with that. The wisdom is passed down to the next generation. And then the next generation howls at the moon and says, I'm looking for my mate. And I'm looking for my mate at the height of the creative and divine feminine in my wild state. And I'm not trying to fight the alphas or the elders. I'm not fighting the elders. The elders are saying it's okay for you to grow and glow up and go. And no one is arguing over this. There isn't a competition. I say that to say this. There's no competition. There should not be in this spiritual realm. There are some of us have been in it for a very long time, and some that are newcomers that are learning so much and get so many downloads, and they're so insightful and they're really doing their thing. But we should not be in competition with each other, even within our pack. There's a deference to the elders because the elders also have lived long enough to understand in the pack that there's a way of life. There's a way that life just is. They know who they are. They've been on their loner journey already, and now they're part of a pack. So now they want to be part of the community, and the elders' sole purpose is to raise up the youngins. So some of us during this time period are going to understand that eventually we will need to break off and have our own pack. That doesn't mean you can't come and visit. That doesn't mean you have to stop listening. But all that that means is that there will be a time where you're going to sit and learn so that you can go off and have your own pack. That's my purpose for being here, is to help you get your own pack. My purpose for being here is not to keep you here. My purpose for being here is not to beat you down. My purpose for being here is not to be some sort of alpha male or alpha female. That's not my purpose. Nor is that my desire. Because let me tell you something. The elder I get, the more I understand, the less I know. And the more I need to learn. But also, the elder I get, the more I love, the easier it is to love, and the easier it is to let go and grant freedom. Because you are not mine to hold on to. My children are not mine to hold on to. You are not mine to hold on to. Anyway, let me go. Let me go on. So there's a lot. We talked about that. Da, da, da. Okay, so the wolf, when the wolf gets to be old enough and mature enough and ready, it breaks out of the pack. Then it finds its mate or it finds another pack. Yeah? And as it finds another pack, they all kind of work in concert. Like, nobody impedes on each other's spaces. Nobody's sitting here trying to, like, impede on their hunting grounds or whatever. Everybody works in concert with this kind of really cool, intuitive understanding about where somebody hunts, where somebody goes, what somebody does. Everybody's working in concert because they're all listening. Is it time for you to grow? Is it time for you to be the lone wolf? Right? Is it time for you to be that lone wolf, knowing that you're going to go from being a lone wolf to being in community? Is it time for you to leave the pack that you're currently in because you've outgrown it? And for some of us, that's our families. Like, they don't understand us anymore. Our friends, they don't understand us anymore. Maybe our significant others really ain't that significant. I talked on Instagram. I was on Instagram earlier today, just kind of musing, I guess. And I was like, I've heard about so many breakups that have happened, but that started back in November, or they've been like, things ain't been right. And finally in November and December, there's all these like splits and separations. Hey, Vicky. It's been building and building and building till this moment where it's like, guess what? If you're no longer, if the pack that you're in ain't cutting it anymore, it's time to walk away. And we know it. And we'll talk a little bit further over the next couple of days as we're talking about this wolf moon and its significance. We'll talk about the fact that right now, today, or right now, this full moon it is right now gearing up to containing this energy of saying you no longer really have a choice in the matter, or you no longer have the luxury of time to make the choice. So if you've been, now the moon's in Aries today, we won't get on the horn and talk about the energies for tomorrow, and I'll pull a card. The moon is in Aries today. It'll be in Aries tomorrow. It's rough for some of us Aries moons, let me tell you. But that means we can be a bit of a powder keg today, bit of a powder keg tomorrow. The energies are such, and they're so strong and so potent, that it is pushing us to make a decision one way or the other. I'm not saying what's right or what's wrong. What I am saying though is it's time to make a choice. And we're being pushed and propelled and said, your time for dilly dallying and maybe or maybe not, for those of us that have already gone through a certain level of growth and ascension and awakening, it's time. You know, Dad used to say, you're going to piss or get off the pot. You know, do what you do. And this wolf moon is about, we need to be finding our pack, because guess what? There's cubs coming, guys. There's youngins. People are awakening more and more and more and more and more. And the war is on. The war is on to try to keep us from ascending. The war is on to try to keep us from awakening. The war is on to try to keep us in the darkness. The war is on to keep us from elevating the frequency of this planet. This wolf moon is saying, get into your packs. Don't forget, wolves, they're not, they don't have, they play nicely on their own. But I said before, they're carnivores. They are predators. They will bite and they will tear your ass up. Okay? So this is about us and our transformation. So we're hungry. The hunger is for spiritual food, for spiritual nourishment, for spiritual satiation, for spiritual meat. To be satisfied in our knowledge and our growth. That's the first hunger. The second hunger is to mate, is to find our pack, is to find someone or a group of people to work with to raise the cubs as they're coming in. All the cubs can't be in one spot. Like, I can't have all the cubs in my wolf den. I might be a good den mother, but I can't handle all the cubs. So some of y'all, it's time for y'all to create your den. Some of y'all mamas and daddies, it's time for y'all to go on and create your den. If you want to come back and get a little, hey, how's it going? Cool. We can all have a sleepover. We can do play dates with the little cubs. But it's time, right? It's time. It's time for you to find your individuality. It's time for you to grow in who you are as the lone wolf and strategize with the rest of us so that we are not all trying to feed on the same grounds, right? And we're all not tripping over each other. So that's the hunger. That's the first part of this wolf moon. All right. Now, for those of you, that was 33 minutes exactly. So for those of you that were here, or that were only here for that, that's the end of the teaching portion. I'll probably cut this off and then put that the first 33 minutes up. But now what I'm going to do is I'm also going to take questions. Okay? I'll take questions about what we talked about today, surrounding the wolf moon and part one, the hunger. Part two tomorrow is going to be freedom. That's what we're going to call part two. Okay? We're going to call part two freedom. I probably will do that tomorrow. And then we'll go into talking about the Cancer full moon itself on Sunday. Okay? Okay. Uranus goes direct when? Willie. Because we weren't talking about that quite yet. Like the old song, Hungry Like the Wolf. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, the wolf, I'm telling you something. Studying the wolf was very enlightening. Very enlightening. I remember Duran Duran. I remember the video. I'm old enough. Okay? Ancient. I'm old enough. I was thinking about that when I was studying for tonight. Anybody have any questions about what we talked about tonight? With this hunger and the wolf moon. So, the wolf moon, yes, is going to be the Cancer moon, full moon. It's going to happen in the third decan or third decan. Third, I don't think it's decan. I think it is decan. Third decan of Cancer, which is very Piscean energy. Hey there, Miss Brandy. How are you, Lollipop? So, okay. I guys, I didn't want to stay on here too terribly long. Individuality, yes. Yes. Yay. Walks to the beat of her own drum. Individuality. The hunt has started. So, okay, so I am going to lop off part of this video. So, you guys that have the link will be unlisted. Yes, the hunt has started. The hunt has started for a lot of things, though. The hunt has started for us. I spoke of this briefly New Year's Eve. Did I tell you guys about my dream New Year's Eve? I gotta chop that video up. Did I tell you about the dream where the spirit like literally came in and was trying to suck my energy out of my crown and then went down to my heart chakra and tried to suck my energy out of there? The hunt's on. The hunt is on for us. What should we be expected to be gravitated towards with this energy? I'll answer that in a minute, Willie. Maybe this dream will help you. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, I had this dream. It was very real. And I will not describe him, but I can describe the individual, the spirit that was literally trying to harvest my energy. Had a beautiful bowl. I was like literally just trying to tap into it. And then tried to tap into my heart chakra. And thank you, Willie. I will answer that question. At any rate, I said, you're not welcome here. No, I'm not giving it. Yes, a warning about energy vampires. Yes. And we might talk a little bit about that because there's a little bit about this dog star who's Akasha. Anyway, less long. Anyway, I said, you're not welcome here. No, you can't have my energy, right? And then the darn thing tried to choke me. Like I literally felt it was like closing down because I wasn't awake when I said this to him. Tried to yeah. Yeah. That's what we were talking about earlier when we started talking about lollipop. And then yeah, it tried to choke me. I literally woke up coughing. Like it was happening. Then I cast it out. And I was just like, hello. I'm like looking at the angels around my bed going, what? Hello? I realized though I had to have the experience, right? I get it. And I knew I could handle it. I wasn't scared. I was irritated. Wasn't scared. But I had to see this thing. And there's more like it. Okay? This is a crazy, crazy, crazy time. That because the veil is thin, because of the portal, because of the time, because of the like meshing between reality and the matrix, upper dimensions crossing, we're crossing, it's getting wacky doodle. But there is a need for light, right? But that also means that dark rises up. So just, hey Jazzy, just like I said, with this wolf moon energy, part of what the wolf is looking for during the wolf moon is a mate. That's part of what the wolf is looking for is a mate. Not just food, also looking for a mate. So just be careful what's out there trying to mate with you, child. So I am advising people to be much more vigilant about protection when they sleep. Ask the angels to protect you while you're sleeping, and your ancestors and your spirit guides. It does not hurt to put obsidian underneath your pillow, underneath your bed, hematite, tourmaline. You can put selenite, even citrine is good to kind of balance out. What should we expect to be gravitated towards with this energy? Well, I was talking about, woke up thinking having a heart attack. Yes. Right? Coming for your heart. That's where the issues of life come from. With eyes of fire trying to look me dead in my eyes, but I always would wake up before anything happened. Well, just pray for protection. Tiger's eye is good too. Now, Willie, to answer your question. So the first part of what we were talking about, you could expect to be drawn to things of the spirit. Yes, thank you, S. Marie. To things of the spirit, deep things of the spirit. MK, we'll talk about that in a minute. You can expect to be drawn to like kind of a final removal, or finally being able to cut certain ties and cords with people or relationships that are not feeding you, that are not elevating you, that are not moving with you on the journey upward. Okay? Those are the first things. You're going to be gravitating towards self-discovery, towards the courage to be free, towards deep wisdom. This is a very deep, and we'll talk about this more in a couple of days, very deep, self-transformative. You're either going to break free or you're going to be held in tyranny. It's like those of us that understand this, it's time to break free or forever hold your peace, because what are you going to be governed by? Are you going to be governed by standard traditional religion, standard traditional beliefs, standard traditional whatever? Or are you going to be governed by freedom? Are you going to break bad? Are you going to get wild? Being wild and free is not bad. And we've been told so much that it's bad. People fear chaos because they can't control the chaos. God, watching The Witcher taught me it just like it felt so right and so good. People, when they can't control the chaos, they fear, right? Because they can't control it. And those of us who understand and embrace the chaos and then can reshape it and redirect it, we're called different things. Witches, mages, sorcerers, sorceresses. Some of us are called prophets and prophetesses. Anyway, that's a whole nother story for another day. MK, you and these, did that answer your question, Willie? Well, it is an energy, but it is the energy, right? Everything left to itself reverts back to chaos. That is a law of physics. It goes to chaos because it goes to its natural state, which is the atomic state, right? It disintegrates. it goes to natural chaos because atoms are naturally chaotic. Anyway, I knew I learned all that scientific stuff for a reason. Ooh, you have an issue though, Willie, don't you? You always have an eternal fight with Saturn and Aries. You want to be so structured that you very well can't be. Saturn does not necessarily like to be in Aries. Chaos is the only true constant, isn't it? Hmm. And those of us that can control our chaos are quite powerful. Okay, let's. So MK demons. So let's. There is secret order. Yes, there is. So let's talk about this whole demon thing, okay? All of y'all know full well that, I mean, I made a very big point of this. Not a big point. Y'all know that I'm not afraid of demons or shadow energy or oppositional forces. You're welcome, Willie. Um, and no, they're not allowed to just operate freely in my life. That's my choice. But I don't. Mm. MK, you said something very true. That that your own demons. This is probably the best and the most important time to not just face but embrace your own demons. And I'll say that because we've got to understand and embrace our darkness. I've come to that understanding, and Lollipop is probably falling off her chair right now. So hopefully, I should have told you to strap on your seat. I know she's falling over. We have to embrace that. We have to embrace that. Because what we consider our demons typically are the wild side of us. Very good. It's typically our wild side, right? It's that feral side. It's that untamed side. It's that side that, society has said you can't do it this way, you can't do it that way. And I'm not trying to say that just be wild and be bad and be this. I'm not trying to say be immoral. I'm not saying go out and kill or go out and steal or go out and destroy anything, right? But what I am saying is that the darkness is just as much a part of us as the light is. I'm still a light worker. But baby, I have a dark side. I do. And sometimes that dark side needs to come out to protect, to fight, to do whatever. But also, I learn from the dark. I learn. And the more I allow the dark side, yes, we have a Lilith. Thank you, Willie. The more we allow that dark side to come up and to acknowledge her or him and say, hey, okay, wait. Yeah, I'd lose my freaking temper. Yeah, I do. But guess what? You know why I lose my temper? Because I'm tired of you asking me the same dumbass question 50 million times. Evil is live spelled backwards. What part of us are we not allowing to live? It's in some of the times where I've allowed my darkness to rise up is when I find that I figure out my most immense power. It's that part of me that's allowed to be chaotic. And when I let that come, but yet I can bring it into focus, is when sometimes the greatest power erupts. I find my greatest healings there. And even though those areas are healed, as far as injury, I no longer use it as a defense mechanism. It is just that it is. It just is. Hmm? My Lilith is in Gemini. So I thought my intellect for a long time, and my quick wit, and my charm. Hmm. Hmm. I was told all the time that intellect is the enemy of faith, right? So I was not, oh, good God. So Lilith in Aries. Hi, yeah, yeah. My Chiron is in Aries. As well as my moon, as well as my Saturn. Anyway, that's how I know Saturn doesn't like to be in Aries. Um, anyway, my point is this: that dark side of me that was always, even though it was allowed to excel, because it's great to be smart, it's great to be intellectual, in the spirit world, it's like you ask too many questions because you're trying to like intellectualize the things of the spirit. But I always knew there was an intellectual side to it. And now I marry all of it together. Now I can marry the intellectual, I've been told to like press down, because Neptune's in my 10th house in Scorpio. I got no choice. Well, it's on the cusp between 10th and 11th. I have zero choice but to be who I am. I have no choice but to be what I'm doing right now. I have to always have spiritual people around me. They have to be deep spiritually. They have to be willing to transform. They have to be willing to move and shake. And I got to know the depth of how it all freaking works. 11th house. The philosophy of how it works. That's why I needed my Lilith in Gemini, because I'm going to challenge the freaking status quo every time I get a chance. Hmm. I think medical astrology really is meaningful. I cut very deep with my words. I don't fight fair. You know how Geminis don't fight fair? When they talking about you, when they read you, it is for literal filth, and they will cut you below the belt and gut you. And when I really get mad at somebody, I will cut and gut. No problem. And I'll cut you up with so many SADMT words, you'll be like, you'll need a damn dictionary to have a fight with me. Don't get into a verbal sparring with me, you're going to lose. You will lose. See, but that's my Lilith. Yes. You're a Gem and Gem rising, CJ. Hunty. My son is a Gemini. My first love was a Gemini. Ooh, gosh. Be still my beating heart. Yes, air signs do not know when to stop. They don't stop until you're lying down on the ground bleeding. Fire signs don't stop until you done burnt up. Whew. Well, y'all might do all right. Grand triple air chat. Mm-mm, mm-mm. So anyway, but my Lilith is in Gemini, so that's why I fight dirty. Now but this part of me, this intellectual part of me, that while it was celebrated, was yet denigrated, right? The intellectual part of me was celebrated on some sides, but then I was too smart for this, and I was too smart for that, and I was too smart for this, and that, and the third, and I definitely couldn't, have a real understanding of all things spiritual because I'm thinking about it too much in a intellectual mind frame, and I'm like, well, what do you mean? I don't understand why. But that's also why I'm very charismatic and I need to speak and I'm a good orator and all of this, right? I have to embrace all of that dark side, that wild side of me in order to be a whole person. Healing the daddy issues didn't mean that I just discard the things that I learned from healing the daddy issues. I embrace that dark side and I'm okay with it. Dealing with shadow, yes. I have a different understanding now of shadow work. Okay, baby, I'll see you in the. Oh, honey, get some rest. That's your shadow on the wall. You can't get rid of your shadow. Yes, you can't. You can turn on every light in the house and you still going to have a shadow. It doesn't go away. Good night, thick goddess. Yes, exactly. Yes, angels surrounding you tonight. Protection. I speak a hedge of protection around you tonight. So we have to embrace that shadow. So when we're doing this work during this wolf moon, trying to understand the deep, there's that feral predator side of us that we need to learn to embrace because we might have to fight for our pack. We might just have to fight for our pack. We might have to fight for the youngins that come along. Fighting isn't all. I mean, if you look at it, even most of the angels, matter of fact, I know very few angels that I've seen depicted that don't have a freaking blade, right? That don't have a blade, that don't have a sword with them or an arrow. I mean, they are weaponed up. Yes, we're going to talk more about the actual self discovery about wolves probably tomorrow. Where do we find the shadow parts of ourselves in our chart? Not everything is always in your chart. I'm not, okay, so I'm probably not the one to ask that question. That's probably a Shonda question. So maybe she and I need to do yes, we do need to collaborate. I've just been trying to figure out when and what on. Um, Thank you, MK. I'm not good at that side of it. I'm just not. Like, I find the shadow parts of myself in those areas that get the most injured, that need like the most healing. Um, but I've had to recognize that they're there. I can clear the karma, but it's there. It doesn't mean that it shouldn't operate. It's there. We have to face our demons. And usually we have to face our daddy's demons and our mommy's demons. Because a lot of the demons aren't really ours anyway. We just inherited them. But then we'll pass them along. So there's that too. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. Okay, been on here for an hour. Um, oh, I didn't know that. So yes, Carl Jung. Maybe at some point I'll study that. I have to break the pattern. Exactly. When you break the actual pattern, that's the beauty of chaos. That's the beauty of being wild. Oh my gosh. Have y'all watched The Witcher yet on Netflix? Or played the video games? Or read the books? Have y'all watched that yet? Because now, I have to read the books. Okay, so um, let me talk about this in a different way. Lollipop, we're going to talk about you in this damn hospital. Let me talk about this in a different way. When you break the pattern the pattern of pain, I'm going to take this as thus saith Lisa. This isn't Carl Jung. This ain't nobody else. This is a me. When you break the pattern of pain, understand that patterns are structured. Patterns are structured, right? It's a structured thing. The clock ticks second by second by second by second. It's a structure. Time is structured. The phone has a structure, right? This is a structured thing. A map is a structure, route. When you break the pattern or the structure, when you break any structure or any pattern, what happens? Chaos. Wild. It goes back to its natural state of unstructuredness. If you can break the pattern of pain that was put upon you and that has been dealt to you and done to you over and over, MK, I know, child, you wow. We're going to have to put a little more structure around you. Over and over again. If you can break the pattern of the pain, you break through to the chaos. The chaos, then, when you learn how to embrace your shadow, how to embrace that dark side, that it's all okay and it's all part of you, you can then focus your chaos and recreate it into power. Hey, I am Virgo. How are you, baby? Restructure and refocus your chaos. Turn your pain into your power. Because once you break the pattern and the structure, then you see it for what it is, which is nothing, which is powerless. You no longer need to put a defense mechanism up around it. Why? Because it can't hurt you. Why? Because you've broken its structure. You've broken its blade. It's ceased to have power over you. And now you have the power over the chaos. That really is all that manifestation. I've gone all the way around 5 mulberry bushes. That is truly what manifestation is. The law of manifestation is the law of restructuring the chaos and turning the chaos into what you will it to be. I feel like I just talked about this the other night or last night, right? I don't know. No, New Year's Eve I was talking about this. I have to take that out. Pain converts into your power. Fit Goddess says, do you think it's better to build your armor before you enter the chaos? Because some stuff is too effed up to heal up completely because you have responsibility to others. First of all, Fit Goddess, your sole responsibility is to yourself. Your first responsibility is to yourself, not to others. Period. Second of all, if you build your armor up before you heal, you are simply covering up and putting up another wall over that which needs to be healed. You can never truly build a solid armor over and place it over an unhealed wound and not expect for there to be a chink in your armor. Most we've taught that doing it that way for too long, and it was wrong. So now, because I did it myself, baby. I had armor, I had a castle, I had a drawbridge, I had a moat with alligators and crocodiles in it. I had all sorts. I mean, I had garrisons, I had everything, child. I had watchers on the wall and archers and all kinds of stuff going on. And all this still while my poor little girl was sitting in the center of this damn castle crying, still needing to be brought out and healed. And then the narcissist found the way into the castle. I remember. I remember all y'all talking about, you remember? Yes, child, I remember. So my recommendation is this: heal, and as you heal, then you naturally create your armor. It is natural, it is authentic, it fits you, because right now you're like young David trying to put on Saul's armor. It don't fit. When in reality, in order to fight your giant, you don't need any armor, you just need your slingshot. Ooh, that's good. That'll preach. I like that one. It is lighter and stronger than what you create when you're in the depths of pain. You're exactly right. It's kind of like, I don't know how many y'all watch my darn, y'all watch the Avengers and stuff. So it's kind of like the difference between having clunky knight in shining armor, like heavy steel and chain mail and all that stuff on, and the big old heavy helmets and stuff. It's the difference between having that and like some Black Panther vibranium that you just touch and it's just like sleek to your body and impenetrable. Lightweight, you can move around in that. You can move around in vibranium. What is y'all doing? Right? That's the difference. Thank you, Lollipop, for saying that. So you need to heal. Because if you don't heal, then you are truly no good to the others you have responsibility for, and you will inadvertently pass it along. Your demons become theirs. So, more like the mystery the elves make in the Lord of the Rings. That's cool. I'm just, you know me, I'm a Marvel girl. Armor of thicker skin, nothing can pierce through. I don't like that thick skin stuff. It's not about being thick skinned. Like nothing, things still do injure me. Don't get me wrong. I just don't. It's not as much, and it doesn't cut as deep. I know, baby. It's taken a while to clear. Well, you don't have to open it all up. Yes, you have a duty to your kids, but I'm gonna tell you something. An unhealed mother passes along her pain to her children, and we don't even realize we do it. We've already done some of it when we have them. We have a toxic soup in the womb. We don't realize we're passing it along. So nobody says, Fit Goddess, that you have to heal everything overnight, because it don't happen like that. It's just going on the road to healing. You will never be asked to heal more than what you can bear. I'm a living witness to that. And there's a number of people in this chat that are living proof of that as well. And I can trust and believe there's a lot of us that have a lot of really effed up things that have happened that we've had to go through. Yeah. So having your parents abandon you, and you've probably healed a lot of it, right? You've probably healed it to a great degree, to the point where you can really function very well. And you can love and you can all that, right? I don't know how old you are, Fit Goddess. I don't know how old you are, but I will tell you from experience that there are so, yes, CJ, yes. I'll get to that comment in a second. There are stages of this healing process that we go through. And I healed a good chunk of my daddy issues until I was faced with them again when I was about 48, 49, 47, 48, 49, somewhere in there. The second ex-husband. Last one. And no, no. And I will tell you that that's when the roots came out, so that now I won't have to deal with it again. So we get to a point, and at some point we do need to dig up the roots, because the roots go down about they go down further. Okay, honey. Good night. So CJD says when you heal, you become brighter. You do. So you're 30. Ooh, so you're at a ripe age, baby. You're at a ripe age, darling, to get into some of that. My first round of daddy issues healing was at about 30. This is a good time. This is a good time. Yes, when you heal, you get brighter. People do notice it, CJD. And as light workers, we do need to stay safe. And the easiest way for a light worker to stay safe is to stay healed and to keep healing, because our auras get strong and become very strong force fields, if you will, surrounding us. And so things can't penetrate that as easy as they could before. I'm in a perpetual state of healing, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So this is going to be a really good time for you, Fit Goddess, as well as others, to really go on this self-discovery tour. Okay? It's going to be good. Find some freedom. Oh. Definitely, you're not alone. What's the Michael Jackson song? You are not alone. I am here with you. Right? So we're here with you. We're all here with you. And that's the beauty, right? That's this whole like wolf pack thing. You're finding a new pack. You have a couple of packs. You got Shonda's pack. You've got this pack. Like you can go between packs. It's awesome. That is awesome. Mm. Wow. Man, y'all, we could just have a whole discussion about the discovery, the healing walk, right? Oh. Mm. Okay. That onion peel comes. Yes, child. My daddy passed at 40. I was 40 when he passed. And mm. and I didn't and then the onion started peeling. But then it peeled more and it peeled more and it peeled more. Thank you, S. Marie. That's very true. Meditation works, and writing a letter to the people that hurt you helps a lot. Say whatever you want to say. Yes, I did all of that when I really did my deep roto rooter in MK's words, healing. Oh, child. I wrote so many letters, cried a lot of tears, screamed a lot. All right. I'm going to get on out of here, get on off here so I can get some sleep so I can actually get up with y'all in the morning and do my daily. I started it yesterday. Thank you, dear. It was 11 years ago now. What will be 11 years in April? But yeah, but he's with me all the time. So I'm gonna need to schedule a time, guys. I did a couple of um that R&B artist that people are talking about surviving. I did a couple of videos about that person, and kind of the empath, the narcissist kind of spiritual aspect of it. I actually want to do like a Zoom conference. Thanks, dear. I want to do a Zoom conference. I'm going to do it over on Patreon live, and I want us to be able to talk about. Oh yeah, I'll be doing one, guys. 1 second. I want it to be for people to talk about that have been survivors of abuse of um, any type of abuse. Um, so I want to deal with that. I'm really seeing. I'm watching. There's a part two, so I was watching that. I'll finish watching it in a little bit. Um, just how this narcissist really rears their ugly head when their empaths break away from them. So I feel a need to do a survivor's meditation, a survivor's group chat where we can all talk together. I am going to do it on Patreon. I am not going to do that here on the public forum. Um, this is not a money play. This is not a Patreon play. This is not anything. I don't want to do it on YouTube, period. So I'm going to figure out if there's a way I can do it for complete free or how I'm going to do it, but I will do it. Um, and that's another reason why I reduced my Patreon down to $1 a month just to have access. But I want people to have access to that kind of stuff that I don't want to put over here. Um, it's all a work in progress. Thank you so much, Willie. So, hey, Trine, how are you? We're wrapping up now, darling. So watch for that announcement. I'll be doing that probably another week or two. A moon video. Yeah. Who'd have thunk? A week or two we'll be doing that from now, okay? That Survivor Patreon live. Okay. And then so we'll finish talking about this wolf moon. It won't be tomorrow. We'll talk some more about the wolf moon again on Saturday. That's going to be part 2 of just the general wolf moon itself, talking about the self-discovery of a wolf moon, like what the spiritual meaning of the wolf is. Sunday then, or Sunday or Monday, we'll talk about the actual Cancerian full moon, the planetary, the astrological meaning of it. And then, I do a lot of moon stuff. And then we'll be talking about the meaning of it for each sign. And then, yes, on the full moon, on the 10th, we will be doing a full moon meditation. You know I love my meditations, y'all. So we'll do that. That's on the 10th. So what is today? That's a Friday. Why do I always end up with y'all every Friday night? Y'all, I don't get a social life because I'm with y'all every Friday night when there's something major. Always on a darn Friday. How am I going to date? Yes, dear. Yeah, having a normal relationship can be hard. It can be very hard. And maybe we'll do this survivor discussion that weekend of the 10th, next weekend. That might be good. That might be good. Access the full moon energy. So tomorrow, y'all ain't gonna see me. I'm gonna go have dinner with a friend of mine and just kind of kick back and enjoy life. Tomorrow morning you'll see me for astrology and tarot first thing in the morning. And then we will gather together again on Saturday. Fake goddess, child, let's just talk about this. Talk about it. Talk about it separate, okay? Not all about the money. From San Andreas. And then Saturday we'll talk some more about the wolf moon. Okay. And then we'll talk some more about the wolf moon on Sunday or Monday, probably Sunday. And then more. Like we're gonna be doing all about this moon. So, and we'll talk about energy healing and stuff as we go on, okay? All right. Let me get on out of here, y'all. I'm rambling again. Y'all know I get to rambling and scrambling. Anyway, do order your 2020 forecasts. 20 minutes for $20.20 for your 2020 outlook. Okay? It's an intuitive reading. You can also get natal charts from me, natal chart interpretations. Mine is much more intuitive interpretation. If you go to Shonda Rhi's Humanistic Astrology, she will do your natal chart as well for very specific and very, let's just call it traditional astrological mixed in with psychological aspects to it. So she's going to give you a different take on your natal chart than I will. So, it's okay to get the interpretation from both of us. We have different energies. She has Scorpio energy. I have Cancerian energy. She's my trine. So yeah, go to her as well if you would like some natal chart interpretations as well. Okay. I think it's shondarise.com that you can go to, but you can go to her channel, subscribe if you're not already, and check her out. Okay. For that as well. We're gonna collab very soon. All right, guys, let me get out of here. Love y'all. Peace, love, blessings, and joy be unto you. Today, tomorrow, and for all eternity. And I want you all to remember to live life in spirit. Namaste.